Hello and welcome back to the Decimal Learning Series. Today, under the types of decimal category, we'll be learning about terminating versus non-terminating decimals. Since we have already discussed some types of terminating decimals, specifically those with divisors that are powers of 10 with prime factors of 2 and or 5, we'll focus more on different types of non-terminating decimals and try to understand the difference. What are terminating decimals? Decimals that come to an end. For example, 0.9735. Now we have done in fraction versus decimal topic fractions of the type 1 by 4, 1 by 2 and so on by converting the denominators to powers of 10, and also fractions with denominators with only the prime factors 2 and 5, 2 or 5. And also I had given you a table to remember. Now how to identify whether a given decimal is terminating? A decimal is terminating if its simplified fraction form has denominator with only the prime factors 2 or 5, 2 and 5. Some more examples: 0.5, 1.75, 2.125. These can be written as fractions where the denominator is a power of 10. Next, let us try to understand the different types of non-terminating decimals. The first is repeating decimals. They have a sequence that repeats indefinitely. So when you divide 1 by 3, you get 0.3333. One more example, 2 by 7. 0.285714285714. It goes on repeating, and the repeating sequence here is 285714. Usually a bar is written on the top of the repeating part. Next is non-repeating non-terminating decimals. They have no repeating pattern. For example, pi 3.141592. It goes on and on. The last is mixed repeating decimal or mixed recurring decimal. This is a decimal number that has a non-repeating part followed by a repeating sequence of digits. For example, 0.123. Now there is a bar on top of 23. That means 23 is the repeating part and 1 is the non-repeating part. Next example, 1.4567. You can see a bar on the top of 67 where 67 is the repeating part and 1.45 is the non-repeating part. Next is conversion of fraction to non-terminating decimals. Here we are going to take 1 by 3. Now 1 is the dividend and 3 is the divisor. Now 1 is smaller than 3, so you add a 0 and then put a decimal, and after 1 you put a 0. Now 3 times 3 is 9, so we get here 3, you put 3 on the top quotient part and you subtract, you get here 1. Again repeat the same thing, add 0 and bring it down and you get here 10. Again 3 times 3 is 9 and you get here 1. That is, this one dividend is getting repeated. That means again if you repeat the same type of division, you are going to get 3, 3, 3, 3. It will go on. And when you write the answer, you write like this: 1 by 3 is equal to 0. In some books you will see that there is a dot on the top of 3 which shows that 3 is getting repeated. But the normal way is a bar which is put on the top of the repeating part. Now let us do the reverse of this algebraic method. Let x is equal to 0.3 bar. 3 is getting repeated. We multiply both the sides by 10. 10x is equal to 3.333. It will go on repeating. Now next step is 1, that is equation 2 minus equation 1, and we get here 10x minus x is equal to 3.3 bar minus 0.3 bar. That is, the decimal part will go away and you will get here 9x is equal to 3. And solve for x. So we get 9x, you have to divide both sides by 9 and 9 will get cancelled, and here you will get 1 by 3. So you get x is equal to 1 by 3. Next type is converting repeating non-terminating decimals to fractions. Now we'll do the traditional method, or we can call it algebraic method, And the example that I'm going to take is 0.36 bar, that is 36 is getting repeated. Here I'm writing the steps clearly for you to understand better. Identify the repeating part. Now in 0.36 the repeating part is 36. Step 2. Set up an equation, that is let x is equal to 0.36 bar and call it equation number 1. Step 3. Multiply by power of 10 to shift the decimal point. Now here, since there are two numbers that are repeated, you multiply both the sides by 100. So we get here 100x is equal to 36.363636 so on. Now the next step, step 4, equation 2 minus equation 1 gives you 100x minus x is equal to 36.3636 etc. minus 0.3636 so on. Now the decimal portion will go away, only 36 will remain on the right hand side, and we get 100x minus x, that is 99x is equal to 36. Now the next step is solve for x. So we get here 99x, you have to divide both sides by 99 to get the value of x, and we get here 4 by 11. So x is equal to 4 by 11. Now the same I shall show you by a shortcut method. Now here the first step is you have to identify the repeating part as before, and 36 is the repeating part. And in step 2, determine the length of the repeating decimal. Repeating decimal is 36 and it has 2 digits. So in step 3, you have to set up a fraction. The numerator is the repeating part of the decimal, that is 36. The denominator is the same number of 9s as the length of the repeating sequence, and that is 99. And therefore your fraction is going to be 36 by 99. And the next step is you have to simplify the fraction. And so we get, when you simplify, 9 will go in 36 4 times and in 99 11 times. So the answer is 4 by 11. Next is converting mixed repeating decimal to fractions by shortcut method. So take an example 0.234. Now you have to identify the repeating part. Now here 34 is the repeating part. The repeating sequence has 2 digits. And next is set up a fraction. The numerator is going to be the part before the repeating sequence combined with the repeating sequence. That means the full decimal part 234 minus the part before the repeating sequence. So you have 234 minus 2, which is 232. Now what is going to be the denominator? You have to use 9s for the repeating part and 0s for the non-repeating part. There are 2 digits that are repeated, so you'll have 99 and 1 0 for the non-repeating part, that is 990. And so your fraction is going to be 232 upon 990. You have to write the fraction first and then simplify for the answer, and you get here 116 upon 495. So the answer is 0.234 bar is equal to 116 upon 495. Let us take one more example, 1.527. The repeating part is 27 and it has 2 digits. So as before, the numerator is going to be 1527 minus the non-repeating part 15. So we have 1512 and the denominator is, so the fraction is 1512 upon 990. You have to simplify this for the answer, and the answer is 1.527 bar 84 upon 55. Here are some examples. You can use shortcut method and try to answer them. As I had told you before, fractions and decimals go hand in hand. Now 7 by 20 is same as 0.35. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this explanation of terminating and non-terminating decimals helpful. If you have enjoyed this video and want to learn more, don't forget to like, subscribe so you don't miss an update. Stay tuned for my next video on Grade 6 Weekly Test Paper 5. This will be a great review and help you prepare for your upcoming final exam. If you want me to cover any specific topic, just let me know in the comments. All the best.